Good morning. It's another day where we do our morning rant, greeting you, bringing in words of peace, words of wisdom, prosperity, peace, abundance, protection, happiness. Today I feel wisdom healing, a combination of wisdom and healing. So I'll call it a wise counsel, but with the healing modality attached to it. The idea for today is like this. Healing comes in many forms. Healing comes in the physical contact of a person, in the projection of an energy to a person, and also not necessarily the old way of doing it, where someone has to do something to you for you to be healed, but in a new way of doing it, where you are given the information, the wisdom, the knowledge that you need to heal yourself. Not for you to rely on someone out there, but for you and your higher self and your inner child together to form a healing modality that will heal you. So that is where I'm coming from, so that we can start to talk and discuss. Kune murabi wemoyo, ogune murabi wemoyo, egune murabi wemoyo, kumabude zuvam, egune murabi wemoyo, egune murabi wemoyo, egune murabi wemoyo, kumabude zuvam, egune murabi wemoyo, gune murabi wemoyo, egune murabi wemoyo, kumabude zuvam, egana taguna tifambe, gana taguna tifambe, ogana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuvam, egana taguna tifambe, gana taguna tifambe, ogana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuvam, ogana taguna tifambe, gana taguna tifambe, ogana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuvam. Nzvimbo yezananguro, umbiya yerununuro, unguwo yeruchengetedzo, tagadzirira. Nzvimbo yezananguro, umbiya yerununuro, unguwo yeruchengetedzo, tagadzirira. Nzvimbo yezananguro, mbiya yerununuro, unguwo yeruchengetedzo, tagadzirira. That was a song for us to usher in the energy so that at least we can start the discussion process. So here, this is what we want to talk about. We want to talk about a situation where I narrate a story. by narrating this story, it will enable people not necessarily to take it as it is exactly, but for every person, every family, every unit, every congregation, every system, to take it in a way where they interpret it their own way, within their own context, for them to have an understanding of exactly how they can make their lives better, how they can grow their selves and their soul to a level where they merge with their higher selves, their inner child, and themselves to form a united front and move forward. Now let's look at a situation like this. Let's imagine there's an area, or there's a place, or let's just say a place. And in this place, there's a person who is in charge of the place itself. This person is rooted in groundedness, is rooted in nature, is rooted in loving kindness, is rooted in all the positive things that you can ever get. So this person has got, or these people, let's say maybe it's a mother and a father, or it's just a mother, or it's just a father, whichever the case, they've got all the positive qualities that are there. And then they also have got their own children who are also emulating how the parents are doing their things, how they are taking care of the children, taking care of the environment, taking care of everything which is within in harmony. But then, what happens is, someone from outside comes into the neighborhood, and then the children start seeing certain things that they've never seen. And they're like, how do you explain that? And the parents will not be having an answer exactly how to respond to that. And also because the children have not been taught how to handle situations like that. It's easy for the children to be manipulated. It's easy for the children to be used by other external people who come in. But the external people are not necessarily just bringing in the manipulation and dominance and all that which is happening. They are also bringing in something else, which we will talk about at a later time. Now, what happens is, the people who come into your system realize the resources which are within your system are resources that we might need to utilize. Maybe it's your place itself. It has got gateways to other places. Maybe it has got certain resources which are buried within. Maybe it has got a lot of advantages that can be utilized, which yourself you are not utilizing. For example, somebody might have a fertile land, and then in that fertile land, they're just keeping the land fallow. And someone else comes in from somewhere else and says, the land that you are sitting in is the land which is high in nutritional content, where if you were to put a crop, you will get a bumper harvest. But because yourself you have not even thought of something like that, it's something which is foreign to you. You are not easily moved to adapt to that kind of system. What will end up happening? That person will realize there's a potential here. And you know what? Let me get rid of this person so that I can take this land to utilize it for myself. That is what happens. And when that land is taken away, then the person who was in charge originally ends up being utilized or being used by those people for other menial tasks, because the person who loses in a battle ends up being taken advantage of, and their children also taken advantage of, used whichever way, manipulated, and all those kind of things. And in most cases, what will happen is the person who has been moved away from their place, or who has been taken advantage of, will send out a cry either to a local council, to the custodian of the lands, and all those. And when the cry continues going out like that, someone will hear the cry, and then they will say, let's go there and look at what is really happening. Now remember, this person who came into this land didn't come alone. They came with others. And remember, amongst themselves, because they are rooted not necessarily in love, in kindness, in wisdom, prosperity, peace, abundance, protection, happiness. They are rooted in chaos. They are rooted in envy. They are rooted in jealousy. They are rooted in all the things that you can get where somebody just thinks of themselves, not necessarily thinking of a lot of other people. And because they came in, a lot of them like that, what will start happening, because all of them are grounded in that, they will start fighting amongst themselves. And everyone else who is in between will suffer now because of their fights. So as they continue fighting, they'll get to a point where they cannot bear the fight anymore because it's too much. Amongst themselves, they realize, you know what, guys, we are fighting here, but it's not working even for us. But because they are rooted in that, they don't know anything else. They'll continue fighting for dominance. They'll continue fighting for territory. And those who were originally there are just standing by, being taken advantage by each and every side. Between whatever side which is fighting, they're utilizing those. And then it will come to a time where somebody says, I hear a cry of people down there, somewhere there. Let me go and see. Then the person comes and say, what is the story which is happening here? Then the story is narrated. First, what happens, because the person who is in charge will be the person who has taken advantage of, who will narrate the story from that perspective. But a person who is coming from above, who has got wisdom, will be able to decipher the lies, the manipulation, and all the things which are being said which are not correct. Will also go to the other side to find out what is the story. You are being demonized as somebody who is bad. What really happened? That's when you hear, my land was taken. My what? I'm not happy with this. After that happens, then the person says, you know what we are going to do? Because there are two factions which are, main two factions which are fighting, and of which the other faction, all these factions, they've got smaller factions also within themselves. But two main factions are fighting. And the children who are in between, they cannot be able to decide because they are deciding based on the manipulation which is happening. So what happens is they say, let these children grow without any interference from both of you. Let each and every one of you show them their side. And when they get to a point where they are old enough, let's again have this meeting for them to decide. After they've seen both sides, they've seen the suffering, they've seen the loving kindness. and then they will decide. They see the domination, they've seen the manipulation, they've seen the chaos, they've seen jealous, they've seen envy, they've seen all the darkness they can see. Subjugation, and then they've also seen the loving kindness, they've seen the wisdom, they've seen the abundance, they've seen the prosperity, they've seen the peace, they've seen the protection, they've seen the happiness, they've seen joy, they've seen hope, they've seen love, and all on the other side. And when now the time comes for them to make a decision, then that person who, or that people, those people who originally put in that quarantine will come in and say, you know what, now, before we lift the quarantine so that everyone can do whatever they want, now people need to decide. What is it that they want? We want to say, you, if you came from here, you need to go to where you came from. You, if you were the owners or the custodian of this land, you need to remain here. If you decide, fine, I'm the custodian of the land, but those who came helped me with this and that and that. So I'm willing to entertain these ones to remain here, to continue assisting me in moving forward or in being productive or in growing. It's up to you. And for those who are going to wherever they came from or moving away from the system, they will also make a decision to say, we have been asked to say we can remain, some of us, if we want to adopt this kind of system for this system here, or we can just go to where we came from. Because the thing was, even though these ones came in to dominate and subjugate themselves, because they were keeping on fighting, and also the system inside was keeping on asking questions, they also wanted to go out to say, you know what, man, we came here, we took over the land, we did whatever we did, but right now, man, it's hotting up. I just want to go wherever I came from. But because of the quarantine, you can't go anywhere. You have to burn inside there. You have to burn inside there. But now, the time has come for the quarantine to be lifted. For people to decide which way they want to go. And then portals will be opened for people to go where they want to go. So this is where we are. To choose wisdom, abundance, prosperity, peace, protection, happiness, divine love, divine wisdom, understanding, hope, joy, and all the things which go along with them. Or to choose chaos, hatred, envy, jealousy, subjugation, domination, manipulation, and all the things which go with that. So the choice is now on each and every individual to choose which side do they want to go. It's free will. It's free choice. You need to decide which way do I want to go between the two. And then others will say, but you know what? This side of wisdom, abundance, prosperity, peace, protection, happiness, Yes, it's good to choose, but it lacks discipline. It lacks a certain level of technological advancement. It's rooted in nature, but we want to advance, to connect with other systems. So we need certain level of technology of some sort, combined with our groundedness in nature and all that. We need to connect with certain things. So we need balance. We need both systems. We don't need one of them only, but we need to take the good which are coming from both systems and utilize that. So this is what others will say. So you now have got three choices. One choice which is total earth groundedness, nature living, harmony with nature, all the stuff like that. Or subjugation, technological advancement, all those things which are associated with that. Or a combination of both, which is still grounded, which is still nature loving, which is still grounded in wisdom, which has got abundance, which has got protection. So instead of being instead of you being subjugation, now you are in protection. Instead of you being envious and jealousy and all that, now you are in harmony. Instead of you being in hatred, now you are in love. Instead of you being manipulative, now you are wise. Those are the choices now. As a wise counsel, I'll recommend the middle path, where we combine both, but still respect the nature, still respect the system. Every flora, fauna's rights, taking care of the earth, taking care of everything the way it's supposed to be taken care of, but also not ignoring the advancement which is important for you to be able to go on. But as a just ruler, as a just person who is doing this, the first thing that I will do, I will say, the person whose land was taken away from them gets their land first. After they get their land first, then they decide whether they want to adopt those systems, because it's their land. Those who came to invade the land will have to go back to where they came from. Unless if the person who is the owner of the land decides, you know what, look, I'm happy with this advancement that came to me. So that's where we stand. So we stand at a threshold. And this threshold needs decision. So the decision is up to each and every individual, which way they want to go. So I've given you the different scenarios. But I've given you as a story, but it's got a higher meaning, a spiritual meaning, which is higher. But you take it from that position, and then you deep down into your soul, and you see what it gives you. But we are at a situation where, or at a crossroads, where decisions have to be made. And people have to decide which way they want. But first, the person or the people who were the custodian of the land originally have to have the right to their land first, and then they decide which way they want to go. Same applies to the children who were born from them. Now that we have spoken about this, now let's take it down to a family scenario. Father, mother, and children. How this system was crafted originally was like, the father is the custodian of the gifts of the family. So we'll be having the 11-pointed star as the custodian of the gifts. So the father contains the gifts of all the children who are born in his family. They are contained within him. He's the one who allocates the gifts, which is a system which was adopted by those who came in to take over, imitating the original system. Like where you see Jacob blessing his children and all that. It's an adoption from what was originally the original template. So the father has got the gift to say, you have got this gift, you have got that gift, you have got that gift, and nurture those gifts within the children for them to express the gifts fully. The mother is the protector of the gifts, is the protector of the gifts, and teaches the children how to protect their gifts so that their gifts can express themselves fully and be advantageous to them as a counsel from that perspective. Father counsels them in terms of guidance, direction of how and where to go, how to do things. Then the children expresses the gifts in a way which is more than what the father and mother can even do. So that's how the family scenario is supposed to be like. Now, because we had the invaders who came in, they also distorted the family setup. What now started happening is subjugation, domination, and all that. So what now started happening? Because the father contains the gifts of the family, the people who came in to dominate will now go to the mother and then advise the mother that you can actually work with dominating the father. And when you dominate the father, and when you subjugate the father, you can conjure the gifts which are within the father, and then you express them yourself. Then you become the person who is in charge, who is looked up by the kid, who is looked up upon by the kids, who is looked upon by everyone else who is looking from outside. And then you can dominate. But actually you are not dominating. It's those who came in who are dominating behind your sins, behind the scenes who are dominating you. So you are being manipulated. You are being used by those, because yourself you might be thinking, this is how I can subjugate. So what you start seeing is a situation like the husbands, their gifts. Let's say, for example, a husband has got a gift of prophecy, has got a gift of dreams, has got a gift of revealing certain things which are supposed to be given to the kids. Now, the mother takes those gifts. But because it's not grounded in love, in wisdom, and all that, or vice versa, the father, I'm just giving an example. It can be the father who is taking the gifts. It can be the mother who is taking the gifts. But then, because you are not grounded in love, there's always something off with the gift. You'll be like, this person has got a gift of dreaming, a gift of prophecy, but the way they're not even utilizing that gift. They are not serious about the gift. They don't take it seriously. They don't understand the value of what they are even dreaming about. Like, man, if I was having this power, man, I would have used it positively on this. So you, as the person whose gift is being taken away from you, have got an understanding of how the gift works. So you'll be like, this is not how you're supposed to use this gift. This gift is supposed to be used by this. These dreams that you are having, man, you're supposed to be like using them to improve yourself, to make yourself, take yourself to a better place and all that. But because it's not your gift, you don't take it seriously. You don't put much effort to it. You have no wisdom of how to utilize it because it's not yours. You see someone who has got a gift, in their area it's filthy, dirty, house not kept. You're like, man, with the gift that they have and the environment they're living in, man, the two things, they don't match. Yes, it's because it's a conjured gift. So I've given you two examples. There are a lot of examples that you will see that something is just off. The person is a prophet, but man, their behavior, man, is like, the way they treat people, man, is like horrible. But is gifted in prophecy, like can prophesy whatever and lead people to whatever. But man, the way they treat people, man, is like something is off. It's off because it's a conjured gift. It's not their gift. It belongs to someone else. So there are a lot of scenarios like that where people have conjured other people's gifts, especially in family scenarios like that. So when that happens, the other thing that you start seeing people like, when people get married to each other, they start looking alike. Yes, it's because the gift of the person is being conjured by the other gift, by the other person. So it now starts moving and staying with that person. So that person starts looking like the other person because it's conjuring the gift of the other person. So you start looking alike, husband and wife, because you are conjuring each other there. And then, because the wife is working behind the scenes with those who are bad, that bad one will now become the husband of the wife. So the wife now starts now conjuring that and projecting to the actual husband, which means now the husband now has to be possessed, has to be not necessarily possessed, starts now channeling the energy of that other husband who is the husband of the wife, where the domination and everything else is coming from. And you see the husband starting to look old, worn out, losing hair, bald, filthy, just acting in a bad way, being angry all the time, easily frustrated, talking to themselves, and all those things. And the husband has to be kept in a situation where they are angry, aggressive, for that energy to stay within them. Remember, the energy wants chaos, wants envy, wants jealousy, wants all those. So the husband has to be kept in that state of jealousy, in that state of envy, in that state of, so that the energy of that can stay within the husband. It's too deep now, but we'll go with it. But the time has come for people to make a choice of where they want to go, how they want to do it. So if your situation is like that, as a family, as a husband, and you see that, you know what, man, I agree, the words which are being said here, there's something that I'm resonating with. This is what you do. You sit down as a family. When you sit down as a family, you go through everything that you've gone through. How those things, you look at it from a perspective of not how hateful they were to you, but what lessons did you learn from each and everything that happened to your life? After you are done with that, then the wife is the one who says, I am the healer of your heart. I am the one who is going to give you comfort, to the husband. For all the things that you have been going through, I'm the one who is going to heal you. That's why the song, Kune murapi we moyo kumabudeswa. So she is the one who is going to be singing. Kune murapi we moyo, ogune murapi we moyo, egune murapi we moyo, kumabudeswa. Egune murapi we moyo, gune murapi we moyo, egune murapi we moyo, kumabudeswa. Egune murapi we moyo, gune murapi we moyo, egune murapi we moyo, kumabudeswa. Now, the husband is the one who was going through a lot of stuff, which is he's worn out, he's angry all the time, he's jealous now, he's envious now, he's doing all those things. So he's supposed to be healed. And then if he manages to master the healing, then he will be in a position where they will be able to move forward. So he's the one who will be saying, Kana taguna tifambe, kana taguna tifambe, kana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuwa. He kana taguna tifambe, kana taguna tifambe, o kana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuwa. O kana taguna tifambe, kana taguna tifambe, o kana taguna tifambe, kumabude zuwa. If they manage to get to a point where they understand each other now, and they are saying now we need to start moving, then the kids are the ones now who say, Trimbo ye zananguro ombia ye tsananguro ombiya rununuro honguwo yeruchengetedzo tagadzirira. Meaning, tsvimbo yetsananguro ina baba, the staff of explaining how things are supposed to happen, of making the family move forward, giving the family direction, giving the family the gifts, allocating the gifts exactly the way they are supposed to be. That stuff belongs to the father. Then, the cloth of protection and directing and making kids understand, that one is with the mother. And then the calabash, which has got the gifts, is carried by the children. That's why they say the Christ consciousness are the kids. Vana ndana Kristu. That's where it comes from. So, if Christ has seen that all of you have said we have agreed to move on, that's where he says, or she says, tagadzirira. Meaning, Christ is calling now the gifts from above to come down into the calabash for things to happen in the family. So the kids are the ones who are calling in the gifts. And when that happens, then the family starts moving forward. And you've got reconciliation. You've got everything which was required. But it needs the one who is being wrong to be sincere and calm and say, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Then you'll be able to move forward. Otherwise, nothing's going to happen. So, I've said it. But we are at a threshold where, for example, if it is in Masowe system, they'll be saying, Tave kugowana vanhu panyika. Vanoda nyenyedzi votera, vanoda Diona votera. But how do you see Diona? How do you see nyenyedzi? You don't see through saying, I'm nyenyedzi, I'm nyenyedzi. No. You see through the works. You see through the outputs. You see through the behavior. You see through whether you've got wisdom, abundance, prosperity, peace, protection, happiness, love, hope, faith. Then you are nyenyedzi. If you've got envy, jealous, subjugation, hatred, chaos, then you are Diona, obviously. You don't need to say yourself, I'm Diona, I'm nyenyedzi. When you are hatred, when you are chaotic, when you are subjugating, you understand? You can lie to people and people can be lied to, but you need to get to a point now where you see, your eyes get opened to see who is nyenyedzi and who is Diona. Not to just say, you know what, I will do Diona. See for yourself through the works. See for yourself through the works. Diona wants to silence the truth always. Doesn't want people to know the truth. Doesn't want people to make a decision for themselves. To say, you know what, let me hear both sides. Let me decide. Says, no, don't hear that. Just hear. No, you're supposed to hear everything. And then from there, you make a decision, which is informed by facts if I want upliftment of people, if I want to see people growing, if I want to see everyone being free to be themselves, if I want to see upliftment, would you call me Diona? If I want to silence the person who is saying that, if I want to make sure that that person is never heard of, if I want to make sure that people don't listen to that person, would you call me Nyenyets? Think for yourself. Think for yourself. Open your eyes. Let your eyes be open. Let your eyes be open. Let your eyes be open. That's what I can only say. But I'm here just to deliver the message, and I've done that. So I will close. That was it. Hope this is going to heal other people. Hope this is going to make people understand certain things. But you need to understand, you don't need to have someone outside telling you what to do. Like I'm giving you a scenario, an example of what you can do. But the best thing comes from within. Merging with your higher self, connecting with your inner child, the three of you, yourself, your higher self, and your inner child. The three of you, you come up with a solution which suits you, which is based on the same principle. Then you'll be able to move forward. So that was it from me. Call upon wisdom, abundance, prosperity, peace, protection, happiness to always walk with you in everything that you do. Let it be driven by wisdom and understanding. No yera yera. Chenjeriwe kumatare no yera yera. Chenjeri kumatare. No yera yera. Chenjeriwe kumatare no yera yera. Chenjeri kumatare. No yera yera. That's it from me. Hope you are all great and things are happening for you and there's transformation in your life. And in whatever you do, remember, I love you. And I want to see you growing. I want to see in wisdom, in abundance, prosperity, peace, protection, happiness. Thank you.